Good morning, I'm Barb Johnston and this is AnnerleyTV, and today I'm talking with some local business owners, Vicki and Tony Lewis from Tone4121. I love that play on words, by the way. I think that's great. Now tell me a little bit about your business and how long you've been in business and why you decided to set up a private gym as opposed to belonging to one of the big franchise groups.
We've been in business just over 3 years now. The choice to go out on our own was probably come from having worked in a gym situation, and I suppose you get to a point where you have your own ideas on what you'd like to do and how you see your own training of clients progressing, and then whether that fits with, with being in a gym environment. Does the gym environment fit with what you wanted to do? And for me, I just needed to go and discover my own way.
And you've got both of you, a long-term history in classical dance. And one of the things that I guess I've noticed over the years working with you, Tony, particularly, I know that I was going to ask you about injuries and people not training properly. One thing I've noticed is you two are always particular about technique. And do you think that's one of the things that helps people not injure themselves by doing it properly?
Oh, most definitely. I think that's definitely the key. Is that technique is paramount, and with that you need to have correct alignment, great posture, all of those things. And like I have a saying that only through perfect balance can you produce perfect power.
Perfect power, is that power to push all those weights?
Sometimes even your own.
I guess I've been there.
Yeah.
Okay, so for someone who's watching this and they've never done any sort of training before, what do you think should be in their minds to seek out a personal trainer as opposed to just fronting up to a gym and not knowing what to do, where to start? What sort of things do you think you should let them know about to make them realise it's valuable to deal with someone one-on-one, particularly in the early stages of training?
Yeah. Well, I think you almost answered that question with the question. In that, for some people, and they can turn up to some of the larger chains, and it is a little bit like they're left to their own devices, and it's intimidating. When you first walk into a gym and there's all that equipment, unless you're being shown things properly and individually, it's hard to know where to start. And that's probably the difference of dealing with a personal trainer. Is straight away it is personal.
Yes.
And you're shown things, you're corrected on them, and the time is spent with you and only you. And I think in a time now where people are becoming more and more time poor, I think that's really important. Is that they're not wasting time wandering around going, oh, where's or
how do I use this piece?
Or how do I use this? They've got someone there straight away that can show them, can teach them how to do it correctly.
And maximise the
time
they're going to commit.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Let's talk about time for a minute, because I see different sorts of lengths of training sessions. What do you think is the optimum or maybe the minimum that someone should look at training per session and then maybe per week, in your opinion?
Look, I think if everyone can find at least half an hour a day, just a half hour of their day.
Is that
at
7
least
days
that,
or at
yeah,
least 5?
Definitely.
7 days?
I think so. It's not that hard, really, to go out and do something for half an hour. But as far as an optimum training time or length of time, it really depends on the individual. And
I guess one of the things that you hear about is people wanting a quick fix.
Yeah.
And it's not just exercise, is it? I mean, do you put exercise as well as good eating together in a weight management? Because I'm guessing that most people come to you wanting fitness, but a percentage would be wanting weight management?
Yeah,
yes,
definitely. Yeah.
And Vicki, tell me a little bit about your classes. I know that you like to work with mums, being a mum yourself.
Yep.
But tell me about the sorts of things that you're trying to do with your clients.
The The majority, but not all of my clients, are women with pelvic floor dysfunction. So some of them have urinary incontinence, stress incontinence, postpartum related. Sometimes it's because they are overweight. I have ladies who have had gynecological surgery. So it's just about managing their exercise program and knowing that they are able to be pushed to, you know, a satisfactory level. We all have different levels of expectations with our exercise, but they are working within a safe zone. So it's high intensity but low impact. So they're not stressing that that lower abdominal area, and which is with fitness the way it is. There are a lot of generic exercises. Burpees, for example, are a big one. Abdominal crunches, which are a big no-no within the pelvic floor safe exercise regime. So to be able to facilitate those needs, everybody needs core strength. Everybody needs an adrenaline rush, but to be able to do that and deliver a safe exercise program is quite tricky.
Tony, tell me about a couple of your success stories, and also maybe we've been talking women, about some of the blokes that come and work with you. Have you got any stories you can tell us about?
Oh.
Is there someone in particular, you don't have to name names, but someone that you think has really gone beyond what they thought they would achieve?
Yeah, I've probably got a couple actually. As far as the guys concerned, I had a young man start with me a number of years ago, actually, when I was working in the gym, and he was towards the end of high school. He was about 17, he might have just left, had not the greatest posture, so all dropped on one side, quite forward, with his head posture, so everything was a little bit knocked out of alignment. So we spent a good couple of years trying to straighten everything up, get him into good condition, and then over time we've just worked on his physique, and we did. His goal, obviously, he'd been thin his whole life, so he wanted to put muscle on, and he wanted to be.
That's a bit the reverse of what we hear most of the time.
Exactly. But he actually wanted to get a little bigger, and so with him we did different measurements, and we actually, would have been a little over 12 months ago, we did a chest measurement for him, and he was about 93 centimetres. And we did a chest measurement recently, and he was 110.
Wow.
So he's put on a lot of muscle, but the thing with that is that he is now playing a lot of sport. He's doing Tough Mudder this weekend. So he's become an athlete, whereas up until then he was a bit shy from that. Participating in those sorts of things. So from that point of view, he's been a success. And I guess the other one, probably more from a rehabilitation point of view, is I had a client come to me a few years back, and he'd snapped the neck of the femur, so up in the top of the thigh bone, and had a crash, and so we rehabbed him from that. He's a cyclist, and so we got him back so he could ride again and was racing, and then he was in Europe on holiday and crashed over there.
Oh no!
And broke his pelvis. So then we rehabbed him from that, only for him to crash one more time and break his pelvis again. But we rehabbed him from that, and he's just completed an 8-week cycling tour of Europe. So.
Oh, some people have a lot of inner strength, don't they? Because,
Yes.
I mean,
That's
you
it.
could be just totally daunted by all of that.
Oh, God, yeah. And it's about, with personal training, sometimes, we talk about nutrition, we talk about exercise, but it's also a lot about mindset. There's a lot
that lovely
about...
word, mindset, but it is so true.
It is. It's just about finding out what the person wants to achieve and the best path to achieving that. And, it's hard because sometimes it's not quick.
No.
It is a long road.
And that mindset, I know with myself, sometimes I had to actually be ready. I thought that I wanted to achieve X, and I would commit myself to it, but I wouldn't quite get there, and then something would happen, and you'd cross a line almost, and all of a sudden it all became easy.
Yeah.
But I guess a lot of that is
Yeah.
mindset.
Oh,
isn't it?
exactly.
Being
It is.
Yeah.
in the right place for
Yeah.
you at the right time.
That's it. And it's hard. I mean, it's not easy at all. You know, and that's the whole thing is that, you know, in society now, we're very much about everything happening quickly.
Yeah. That's what I
And-
meant before about
Yeah,
we all
the
want
quick fix.
the quick fix.
That's it.
And that's not
That's
what
it.
life's
And
about.
and I'd love to say it existed, but it just does. When it comes to your own health, it is a lifelong process. You know.
So on a practical basis, if someone sees this and wants to get in touch with you, you've got a website, I
Yes.
presume,
Yep.
and that's got all your contact information.
That has everything
And
on it.
that's
Yes.
www.tone4121.com.
4121.com.
.com, lovely.
Yeah.
All right. And are there any other little snippets of information that you think people need to understand before they embark on personal training, or is it best that they speak to you? Because I'm guessing it's like hormones. Everyone's an individual. Everyone's situation is purely
It's-
individual, so that
Yeah.
what happens with me and what happens with you will
Yeah.
be completely different to
Yeah.
another client and their needs.
Yeah, I think if they are someone that is looking at whether they're going to a gym, or wanting a personal trainer, do the research. You know, and then when you decide what's right for you, and if it is a personal trainer, remember that you're the one that's paying the trainer.
Yes.
So conduct an interview, find out what they've done, how they train people. Is it going to be suitable for you? The other big thing is check that they're actually registered with,
Good point.
you know, because quite often there's people out there that are advertised as personal trainers or whatever that aren't registered with, say, Fitness Australia.
Right.
And usually if they're not registered, they're not insured.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's just something to be aware of. But
And I think these days people want, in all walks of life, to do things properly. I mean, you can take shortcuts, but invariably that can lead to problems.
Yes.
Yep.
So getting it
And
right.
disappointment.
Yes, getting it right in the first place. Speaking to the right people.
that's it.
Yeah.
It's like anything. If you're poorly prepared, then the end result's not going to be great. So it's all about doing that preparation and as I said, doing the research. Go out and find the person or the gym, whatever that you feel is going to best suit what you want to achieve.
Compatibility.
And I
Yeah.
think one of the, just the way you've said that just then, I value referrals because
Yeah.
I find that the people who get referred to me, I just take that extra special care with.
Yep.
Because
Most
someone
definitely.
has appreciated what I've done before.
Yes.
And I
Yep.
would imagine in your situation that the value of the referral is pretty
Yes.
high.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very
And,
strong.
Yeah.
Very, very
And
strong.
I guess that's part of what this talking to our local community and our local business owners is all about, because there are possibly people that don't know about your business, and it's all very well for me because I've known you for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But it's nice to build that community awareness of people who value referrals and
Yeah.
value doing work within our local community.
Yes.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And it's a great community, isn't it?
It
It's a great community.
Absolutely.
Love it. Wouldn't leave it.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't leave it.
No, and I've become, having lived in the area for a very long period of time,
We're getting up there too now.
but no, it's certainly something that I treasure. So thank you both
No,
very
thank you.
much for talking to me today. And if you're ever looking for personal training on a very personal level, please contact Vicki and Tony at Tone4121.